Ladies and gentlemen, please rise. Gentlemen, please remove your hats for the singing of the national anthem, followed by the Peters Township alma mater, sung by graduates Megan Fitzgerald, Lindsay Garlick, Jessica Graham, Stephanie Hamill, William Coney, John McGovern, Madison Manconi, Ariana Sampson, Emily Stoken, David Tucker, and Bree Wagner.
Stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watched, were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? As friends we gather here to sing to Peters Township high. Through honor, love, and loyalty, our pride will never die. Memories of the red and white are in our hearts with you. Peters High, our alma mater, ever faithful and always true.
Ladies and gentlemen, you may be seated. Good evening, and welcome to the 2012 Peters Township High School graduation and commencement ceremony. It is my honor and pleasure to present to you this exceptional group of students who collectively represent not only academic, athletic, and artistic excellence, but also incredible character. Building character is no easy task, and it is not done alone. There are a number of people who share credit for helping these students become the young men and women seated before us today. I would like to take a moment to acknowledge those people as we bring to a close our graduates' 13 years of education. First, and most importantly, to the parents and families of our students. We thank you. We thank you for providing the guidance, tutoring, transportation, laughter, and shoulder to cry on. Moms, dads, brothers, sisters, grandparents, aunts, uncles, cousins, This night is as much for you as it is for our graduates. Tonight, we celebrate you. To our teachers, it is your caring guidance and insistence on excellence that has helped our students achieve their potential. High school teachers, please stand. We thank you for the early morning tutoring, the late afternoon review sessions, and the countless hours working with our students, both in and outside of the classroom. Your passion and dedication has inspired us all. Thank you. Our high school teachers are not alone in contributing to the achievement of today's graduates. From kindergarten through their senior year, our students attend more than 2,400 days of school. Over 1,600 of those days are spent with their elementary and middle school teachers. Some of these teachers are here with us tonight. I would ask that those teachers please stand. Thank you for planting the seeds of success and establishing a solid foundation for learning and leadership. Often unrecognized are the administrators at the building level and district office whose vision and leadership provide the foundation for excellence. To these individuals, accolades mean less than student success. Their decisions are driven by what is best for kids. Please stand when I call your name to be recognized. Dr. Zeddy, Dr. Kardambikis, Dr. Mansour, Mrs. Tolkasevic, Mr. Lesnat, Dr. Fredo, Mr. Hennigan, Mr. Storr, Mr. Marquis, and Mr. Fisher. We welcome you tonight and we thank you. The Board of School Directors are before you this evening on stage. It is because of their work and difficult decision-making that all of this is possible. It takes a special individual to serve voluntarily in this capacity. It is moments of celebration like this one that remind us all what is important and allows us to recognize the work that they do. Please stand when I call your name. Mrs. Golombieski, Mrs. Cuervo, Mr. Dunleavy, Mr. Vistas, Mr. McMurray, sorry, Mr. Merrill, and Mrs. Smith, who are on stage. Also in our audience, celebrating tonight with their families, Mrs. Ehrenberg and Mrs. Gregg. We thank you. Tonight's ceremony would also not be possible without the collective efforts of the high school administrative team. Mr. Christian Lesnat and Miss Emily Sanders, our assistant principals, your leadership and wisdom this year has been invaluable. You have spent countless hours committed to ensuring the success of today's graduates. To the office secretaries, Mrs. Borg, Mrs. Wurst, Mrs. Glass, Mrs. Dare, Mrs. Spolaris, Mrs. Fetcher, Mrs. Lusk, Mrs. Falbo, and Mrs. Pampina, thank you for your patience and your diligence. And finally, there are many people who work tirelessly behind the scenes to ensure that tonight runs smoothly. Mr. Zippe, Mr. Boni, Mrs. Hodgenfrick, the custodial and maintenance staff, and all of the students and other staff that have helped and volunteered their time. We thank you. Before we begin our ceremony tonight, I would like to take a moment to remember Nathan Allen Zadrozny, who passed away after a long illness on June 8, 2009. He was a member of the class of 2012. Nathan, you will never be forgotten. Please join me in a moment of silence. Thank you. At this time, please join me in welcoming our senior class president, Daniel Edward Katire, to the stage.
Parents, family, school board, Dr. Zeddy, faculty, staff, class of 1962, and people who just come to these things, good evening and congratulations to the Peters Township class of 2012. Since we don't have much time tonight, I wanted to leave an impression. I wanted to show my dedication to my classmates and everyone who helped me along the way. I wanted to approach this speech like I approach any test, project, or essay. So late last night I began. I cracked open a Red Bull, turned on the computer, checked my Twitter, watched a rerun of The Big Bang Theory, checked my Facebook, checked my Twitter again, and then I began writing. But in all seriousness, I'm honored to be given this opportunity, and I'm excited to finally be graduating from this wonderful high school. But of course, there are people we all have to thank. Our parents, our siblings, the teachers, the administrators. Everyone in the audience has helped us get here, and we need to show our appreciation. Finally, we have to thank our friends and our classmates. The students define this school and its culture. Here's to the Peters Township class of 2012. Now, it is my honor to introduce the Peters Township class of 1962. They graduated 50 years ago, entering a world with different opportunities and different challenges. The difference makers of the time left behind a legacy that carries through today. Icons such as Martin Luther King Jr. and John F. Kennedy used their actions and their words to make a difference in the world. They inspired the class of 1962 and the generations that followed. Let's take a moment to honor these graduates. Please hold your applause until all of the graduates are introduced. Carmela Aola Roberta, Thomas Bale, Charles L. Baird, Carol Bride Wagner, Lana M. Bride Corbett, Dawn Brown, Philip E. Froby, Jane Henderson Anderson, Baird Bud Lashley, Edwin H. Leach, Janice Maker, Joyce Massey Daly, Pamela McCann Leininger, Judith Mobley, Dorothy Pickelin Dabrowski, Joe Rogers, and Donald J. Wagner, the class of 1962. When the class of '62 was graduating, there was a boy just beginning school in Palo Alto, California. He dropped out of college after one semester. By the time he was 20, it was pretty clear that the odds were not in his favor. But he continued to persevere, creating products that pushed the limits of what was considered standard. When Steve Jobs passed away 8 months ago, he left behind a legacy of innovation and creativity. When we use our iMacs and our iPhones, we experience this impact. But it is Jobs' role as a visionary and innovator that defines his legacy. His story will never be forgotten. Now it's our turn. We have the chance to solve the problems that past generations could not. Whether it's healthcare, diplomacy, education, or the environment, we have the tools to leave this world better than what we were given. 50 years from now, we will be sitting here for our reunion. 50 years from now, we will reflect on our accomplishments and our failures. What will we be remembered for? What legacy will we leave behind? Our lives will change. That's a promise. This journey is just beginning, but the memories we've made will never be forgotten. We will travel to new places, meet new people, experience new things. We will each leave behind a life story, and with it, a legacy. We all have the potential to do great things. It's not about how many people we impact. It's about how much of an impact we have. Congratulations to the Peters Township class of 2012. Thank you, and good night.
Please welcome Prithvi Sankar Roy, our senior class speaker.
Every August, we lay in our beds thinking, oh no. Every August, we dust off the old alarm clock, remembering its unbearable banshee scream. Every August, we post our schedules on Facebook to see who we will get to know a little bit better that year. Every August, we look up lacrosse or soccer or football videos because we can't wait to get on that field. Every August, we admit to ourselves that we are a little excited to be here. Every August, we admit to ourselves that we are PT. This August, though, we won't be so united in our thoughts. We will split up, going our own routes, whether we choose college, trade school, the workforce, or the armed forces. We will be hundreds of miles away from each other instead of just down the hall. And to be honest, that's a little scary. Let's think about why for a second. Here at PT, we built ourselves an identity, although an ambiguous one at times. Of course, there are a lot of kids that are your average suburban type, but oftentimes, you tend to see a lot of country and a lot of ghetto fabulous. I tend to be pretty gangster myself. The halls are plagued with flat rim hats as well as cowboy hats. There are Nike Air Force Ones as well as Timberland work boots. In the student parking lot, you see big diesel trucks blasting Kenny Chesney. And you also see Dodge Chargers riding on chrome rims, blasting the motto, YOLO. These little differences between the 412 and the 724 lifestyles seem like they detract from a unified identity, our identity. But the adhesive factor that brings us together is our fight. Over the last 12 years or so, this district has sculpted us into strong, young men and women. We have been prepared to take on the world, and that is exactly what we will do. We will prove that if you came out of that building, you have a lot of fight in you. And let's think about why for a second. Think of all the academic challenges we had, like guided readings, unit assignments, homework quizzes, PowerPoints, photo stories, basically anything just short of medieval torture methods. But we all know the saying, whatever doesn't kill you, kills your grades. That's not it. But regardless, high school was rigorous. We had to work, often late into the night, and all of that work put that fight in us. I see it in you. Your teachers see it in you. Your parents, your coaches, your mentors, your neighbors, whoever you came in contact with can see that you all have unwavering determination. And that is the part of our identity we can take with us. No one can look at us weirdly when we excel to be the best in our classes. No one can question our sanity when we demonstrate our determination in the workforce. No one can deny that we will do whatever we set our minds to. Every June, we think to ourselves, oh yeah, Every June, we dust off the old swimsuit, remembering the sweet smell of chlorine. Every June, we post group pictures of our friends on Facebook, just to hold on to the memories. Every June, we look through the yearbook, reading all the nice things our friends have written to us. Every June, we admit to ourselves that we're going to miss this place. And every June, we admit to ourselves that we will always and forever be PT. Thank you.
Graduation ceremonies are undoubtedly special occasions. For students, it represents the culmination of years of hard work, goals attained, and success achieved. Normally, high school principals focus their remarks on the road that we traveled together over the past 4 years. Well, Peters Township High School class of 2012, we first met only a year ago. I can't speak to the students you were as freshmen or how you have grown over the past 4 years, but I can speak about the young men and women who sit before me today and who have given me the honor of sharing in the final leg of their journey. When we first met, I was your newly hired principal, and you were anxiously awaiting the last day of school so that you could finally claim the name senior. You welcomed me cautiously. I could sense the trepidation when we first met. I knew what you were thinking. Here we go again. What now? Perhaps you were thinking, who does she think she is? I understood. After all, I was your third principal in 4 years. In fact, you had nearly an entirely new administrative team this year. Again, lots of changes were coming your way, and you proceeded cautiously. I knew this. I expected hesitation, perhaps even some resistance. I mean, I was following Mr. Bretschneider. So as summer finally began and my new administrative team settled in, we adopted a new mantra. It is a quote by Henry Ford that eloquently captured our collective vision for the year. He said, "Coming together is a beginning, keeping together is progress, and working together is success." We enthusiastically and anxiously set out this school year to follow Mr. Ford's advice, and so our journey together began. That journey has been filled with complications and accomplishments, with tears and laughter. I knew in August that you were bright students. This was evidenced by your test scores, your excellent grades. But what I have come to know about you is that you are truly an extraordinary group of motivated young men and women. Through my role as principal, I am to inspire and guide you. But this year, I feel you've guided and inspired me. I have learned a great deal from you, class of 2012. You have taught me about the spirit of the PTHS student. A few things I learned for you are, you want to be asked your opinion. You will give it freely, and you will give it honestly. You will rise to any challenge. When presented with a problem or a setback, if I get out of your way, you will address it and you will shine. You will fight for what you believe. You will speak up for what you believe. When given the opportunity, you do make the right decisions, and that you can smile and laugh through adversity. These lessons that you taught me will remain with me and guide my decisions throughout my tenure as principal here. For this, I am eternally grateful. Furthermore, it was clear that you have come together as a class. You stuck together through adversity, and you were not deterred by change. Sitting among you today are some of the most talented, charitable, eloquent, and entertaining students that I have ever met. What has most impressed me about you is your attitude, sometimes fun-loving, generally positive, and always respectful. When you slipped up, as we all do, you acknowledged it, learned from it, and moved on. So class of 2012, I can only surmise that you have accomplished what Henry Ford recommended. You came together, made progress, and achieved success. Now you will be starting this process all over again as you begin the new phases of your life. But don't fear, PT. You're ready, and you are more than able. May your years ahead continue to be characterized by empathy, compassion, and objectivity. May you always lead by example, work hard, and play straight. May you take risks without fear of failure. Henry Ford also wisely said, "Failure is simply the opportunity to begin again, this time more intelligently." I wish you, class of 2012, every success in your future. It has been my honor and my privilege to represent and serve you as your principal this year. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Zeddy to the stage.
Good evening, class of 2012. Welcome to you, your family, our 50-year grads, our faculty, and the school board. I am honored to be with you tonight because you are the first class I've watched grow from the time you entered middle school. When you started 9th grade, your 8th grade teachers told us that they couldn't have chosen a better class, and they were right. I've watched you choose to excel academically, choose to keep our new athletic director busy with all of your athletic playoffs and championships, choose to entertain and astound us artistically, and choose to touch our hearts through your selfless display of character and service to others. In addition, from this class, I saw an emergence of leadership like no other class before you. You chose to step forward and turn student council into a true governing body. You offered ideas and solutions to potentially challenging situations like the student section of football games. And you chose to be involved in governance areas like how the GPA should be calculated. And finally, you chose to take on the issue of acceptance and bullying by initiating a student-led assembly on tolerance. You make us all feel confident that we are sending over 350 young adults into society prepared and eager to make it a better place. That tells me that our curriculum is strong, our teaching staff is excellent, our coaches are skilled, and our emphasis on character education and leadership is working. So there's just one final lesson we have for you. You'll notice I use the words "you chose" a number of times. All along the way, you told us you wanted choices. You asked for better choices of food in the cafeteria. When we were growing up, the choice was chocolate milk or white milk. You asked for a variety of electives to choose from. When we selected classes, we had woodshop, cooking, band, creative writing, and typing. You have so many choices today that it can become overwhelming. Just think about selecting a channel on the television. Your parents, or in some cases, grandparents, had 3, 2, 4, and 11. How many channels do you scroll through today? How much time do you spend just picking out a pair of jeans? We had Lee's, Levi's, and if you had enough money, you could buy yourself a pair of designer jeans, Jordache. You have skinny jeans, faded jeans, low-rise jeans, stretch jeans. When you start adding up the time it takes you to effectively make all the choices you have to make, you'll have to ask yourself if it's worth it. Before you know it, you'll have to choose an employer, an affordable means of transportation, a place to live, utility suppliers, health and life insurance, investment options, why every second of every day you'll be choosing. And there are so many alternatives for each choice. So how do you do it? How do you make the right choices when so many are coming your way? Well, you can either pick or you can choose. A chooser begins with his goals, thinks about the short and long-range consequences of the choice, weighs the options, and in some cases determines that none of the options may be the right one and creates his own. A picker just picks one. So my lesson for you, as you follow your choice to go on to college or trade school or the military or work, is to learn when to pick and when to choose. Certainly, you learn some of this from your teachers and your parents, but if you find yourself in need of a refresher course while you're standing in Best Buy this summer trying to decide laptop or tablet, PC or Apple, consider this your last high school summer reading assignment. Get a copy of The Paradox of Choice, Why More is Less by Barry Schwartz. You see, as educators, we pick every one of you, but we choose to invest ourselves in you. And we are grateful for the experiences you've given all of us. So, as you move on to a life of picking and choosing, we wish you continued success and happiness. Good luck and congratulations.
Please welcome Mrs. Cynthia Golombieski, President of the Peters Township Board of School Directors, to the podium.
Thank you, Mrs. Pavlik. Good evening to the class of 2012 and all attending today. This fabulous weather was brought to you by your Peters Township School Board. Graduates, you have heard from several speakers how many people have supported you and have been part of your life and have gotten you here today. Two things come to my mind as I think about those 700 people every day that wake up with one thing in mind: you. 701, we shouldn't forget Evelyn, our crossing guard, should we? As I said, two things come to my mind. The first thing, no wonder you feel like you need some space. The second thing, this is your opportunity. Please stand up and give a round of applause to all of those who have supported you over these years. Students, please stand up. Thank you. You may be seated. Whatever you pursue after high school graduation, go with confidence and know that you are prepared. And now the reason why we are here today, you, and as it should be, about you, to recognize and celebrate your hard work, which is really your response to all of those 700 plus people who have invested and who have shown faith and who have sometimes yanked out of bed in the mornings. Your response to them. Congratulations on your hard work and your achievement. Without that, you would not be sitting here today. On behalf of the Peters Township School Board, I congratulate each and every one of you on your hard work and your achievements. As you move on to the next phase of your lives, please think carefully about that myriad of choices that everyone has been waiting for as they come with responsibility. If you can understand and accept these freedoms along with their responsibilities, then perhaps that will be the beginning to truly accepting each other's differences. And then you can focus more on what we all have as common beliefs and values and begin your real work. What you are going to do to make this world a better place. Those who came before you are watching. Those who come behind you are depending on you. We wish all of you great health, happiness, and much success in your future. And now it is my great honor and privilege to introduce the teacher who was voted on by the class of 2012. I can help you with that. Beck Jord, Beck Jord, Beck Jord. That's right. Joanne Beckjord, graduate of Seton Hill College in Greensburg, with a BA in Literature, a Master's in Education from Duquesne University. Mrs. Beckjord is the mother of 2 children, both of whom are married, and she has a grandchild who is 3 years old. She has taught in the Peters Township School District for 19 years, 9 at the middle school and the last 10 at the high school. For those of you who do not know Mrs. Beckjord, she has asked me to tell you that she's trouble and hard to get along with, and that she's extremely thin and breathtakingly beautiful. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you the extremely thin and breathtakingly beautiful Mrs. Joanne Beckjord. You're fabulous. Do it up.
Got it. You know, I'm sorry. Before I begin, I have to say how proud I am to be with all these distinguished guests and on this dais with more distinguished people up on the dais and addressing you. You have to know I'm never invited to a gig like this normally. You know, I'm usually the one whose invitation has gotten lost in the mail. Or if I volunteer to help, you know, they say, well, we've taken the 400 people we need. We really don't need your input. So it's very, very humbling and not just a little stressful. First and foremost, again, congratulations to the class of 2012. Everyone in this stadium is so proud of you and your accomplishments, and there is an adult here who wouldn't change places with you in a heartbeat. When my students heard that I would be speaking at graduation, Period 8 said, tell them that really funny story about college. And I thought, what story did I tell them? And why would I tell them a story about college? I graduated in the 60s, and you know, I was afraid I wasn't sure what that was. Period 4, though, my more sober class, they're very serious. They're very serious. They said, Mrs. Beckjord, whatever you do, for the love of God, don't talk long. We got places we want to go. And so, with that cue from Period 4, and for the last time and for the rest of our lives, if I could please have your attention just for a moment. We in this stadium look at your faces and see unbelievable promise and unending potential. And we know that there are yet to be discovered opportunities for all of you. For all of you, there will be exhilarating successes. And there will also be profound and spirit-crushing and life-changing failures. So before you leave these sheltered halls, before you leave the safety of your home and the familiarity of your friends, before you go out in the world that's just waiting for you, make sure you stand for something. Stand for something. Don't go out there so undefined or so morally ambiguous as to become easy prey for those people looking for weakness or naivete. Make sure you stand for something of value, something large enough to give you comfort and to keep you company when you feel particularly alone in the big world, and you will feel particularly alone at some point in time. Make sure you stand for something so true and so genuine that it guides you as you begin to navigate the world. You'll have important decisions to make, and you'll need to have some standard, some principle, some basic truth, strength and compassion, some core value that is non-negotiable and that is not subject to the demands or whims of the moment. You'll need that core value to adhere to as a compass, to have it as a constant in your life at a time in your life which will be marked by many things and not especially constancy. As Stephen Covey suggests, be principle-driven. It won't guarantee you success or popularity in social circles. It may not help you win friends or influence people, but it will make you the most genuine and the truest of human beings in a world that is full of ethical and philosophical ambiguity. As Shakespeare had Richard II tell us, "Mine honor is my life, both grow in one. Take honor from me, and my life is done." Stand for something. As a first step towards the rest of your life, I don't think that's a bad place to start. Thank you, and good luck. And I'll miss all of you. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Boys, we'll wait for you. That was for you, Mrs. Beckjord. Well, folks, it is the time that you've all been waiting for. It is the time for our senior class to receive their diplomas. May I ask the first row of boys and the first row of girls to please stand and move towards the stage.
Evan Mitchell Albitz.
Kirsten Alexis Adams.
Jonathan Clyde Aralotta.
Laurel Irene Adamson.
Michael Robert Arnone.
Amanda Joy Augustinella.
Brian Douglas Bakioki.
Brittany Carolyn Andreski.
Joseph Thomas Barbati.
Alexa Gina Ansel.
Adam Todd Baster.
Jessica Lynn Catherine Hemsky Baer.
Samuel John Batchelder.
Bethany Lynn Bates.
David Cameron Bayani.
Sarah Elizabeth Barzak.
Zachary Charles Beggs.
Camille Suzanne Barnes.
Aaron J. Berliner.
Caroline Ann Beck.
Zachary James Burquest.
Aman Ladra Benbernane.
Zachary Lewis Bevilacqua.
Rachel Lee Berquist.
John Thomas Bianco.
Allie Christine Bianco.
Joseph Thomas Bianco.
Elise Marie Bigley.
Connor Bigley.
Melissa Ann Bittner.
Michael Anthony Biddle.
Kara Ray Blazak.
Park Mackenzie Bogan.
Courtney Leah Blatt.
Zachary Dalton Bogardus.
Rebecca Ann Bame.
Jared Michael Bowman.
Kara Grace Bozick.
Jarrett Edward Borden.
Gretchen Ellen Brandstetter.
Andrew Scott Bransma.
Heather Lynn Brusco.
Andrew James Brennan.
Tracy Lynn Burkett.
Jacob Christian Brown.
Elena Marie Bazzato.
Michael Julius Bacaizo.
Maria Ashley Carroll.
Seth Dallas Chaffel.
Stephanie Marie Cattell.
David Kirk Shafani.
Nicole Olivia Selko.
Alexander Michael Clark.
Annie Rachel Chess.
Jonathan George Colosimo.
Alexis Anna Maria Sirocco.
Eric Robert Connors.
Jacqueline Elizabeth Clark.
David Stewart Copeland.
Eleni Danielle Coleman.
Michael Philip Cotugno.
Alexa Faith Connors.
Michael John Coonahan.
Madison Rose Crehan.
Taylor Jordan Cox.
Catherine Grace Cuervo.
Alexander James Dagnall.
Erica Nicole DeBarno.
Tyler James Diley.
Taylor Renee Dare.
Dylan Paul Devine.
Brianna Lynn Deere.
Ryan Scott DeArmond.
Lindsay Alexandra Delcato.
Matthew Martin Dixon.
Angeline Louise DiNardo.
Ryan Patrick Dwayne.
Catherine Ruth Denning.
Brett Adam Dush.
Dominique Dara DiCello.
Reed Jordan Alatrage.
Molly Rose Doring.
Andrew Chad Ehrenberg.
Hannah Noel Dre.
Alexander Robert Ernst.
Kara Heather Duda.
David R. Eshelman.
Lauren Nicole Diamond.
Derek Michael Ivanovich.
Jillian Ray Eby.
Clayton A. Evans.
Jessica A. Eschman.
John Edward Faber.
Kimberlyn Sue Ellis.
Marco J. Femiani.
Madison Catherine Eskew.
Adam James Farraco.
Kira Jean Falbo.
Kyle Mitchell Fiddler.
Mara Daly Fawcett.
Kevin James Gary Fiber.
Katie Elizabeth Finn.
Edward Douglas Finley.
Mackenzie Kathleen Fitzgerald.
Tommaso Antonio Folino.
Megan Janine Fitzgerald.
Nicholas Lewis Franti.
Christina Bianca Fortunato.
Christopher John Gaganis.
Ashton Claire Freemer.
John Paniotti Gaganis.
Mackenzie Bryn Fritz.
John Wetzel Galatic.
Lindsay Diane Garlick.
Kevin James Glaud.
Michelle Ann Jetto.
Joshua Edward Graff.
Megan Faye Glasser.
Devan Joseph Groom.
Oh. Valerie Catherine Gobeo.
Gregory Thomas Grossi.
Courtney Lynn Golombieski.
Jacob W. Herringer.
Gina Lee Goodzich.
Jacob Patrick Henderson.
Molly Catherine Gordon.
Kenneth John Herman.
Jessica Margaret Graham.
Alexander T. Higgins.
Jacqueline Nicole Graves.
Eric Douglas Hilburn.
Erica Paige Gretz.
Kendall Paul Hill.
Sarah Marie Grippy.
Zachary William Hindman.
Stephanie Christine Hamill.
Ryan Lee Hino.
Morgan Virginia Hoover.
John Bernard Lavinka.
Sarah Marie Howard.
Benjamin Marcus Hoskins.
Zana Janae Bukowski Huber.
Andrew W. Irwin.
Alexandra Elizabeth Hussey.
Stephen Andrew Janessi.
Kristen Lynn Jacobs.
Matthew C. John.
Jenna Lee Johnson.
Shane Lewis Jostenbaugh.
Sophia Yanni Camulleru.
Matthew Thomas Joswiak.
Kelsey Elizabeth Kapusta.
Cody James Kachowski.
Elizabeth Martina Keller.
Alexander William Kale.
Darby Victoria Kern.
Patrick Kelly.
Erin Margaret Kilberg.
Daniel Edward Katire.
Emily Grace Kipling.
William Tyler Coney.
Tara Ray Kanopka.
Ryan Michael Kress.
Valerie Cherise Kotar.
Andrew Thomas Lazinski.
Kate Marie Kozlowski.
Kyle Jordan Lapel.
Catherine Aline Kraviak.
Matthew Dalton Large.
Jenna Marie Kreider.
Kenton Z. Latinovich.
Natalie Dawn Crewin.
Samuel Allen Lawson.
Shauna Lynn Lair.
Nicholas Erickson Leach.
Christina Marie Lampert.
Ian Samuel Leon.
Kelly Amber Lewis.
Tyler Gregory Litwin.
Emma Morley Lindsay.
Anthony John Labasso.
Lauren Nicole Lusk.
Eric Clay Lockwood.
Kristen Marie McDore.
Timothy Shane Laneski.
Christine Ann Manganis.
Jordan Patrick Lupori.
Callie Elizabeth Marks.
Christopher Mark Malencia.
Alexis Elizabeth Marlette.
Matthew Paul Malencia.
Rachel Darcy Martin.
Brian Paul Marchke.
Mercedes Peach Martinez.
Cole Garrett Marks.
Michelle Caitlin Martinez.
Robert Dawson Marshall III.
Morgan Taylor Matetic.
Jared Ross Martin.
Jesse J. McIninch.
Zachary Stephen Mauser.
Lindsay Catherine McKay.
Aaron Michael McDonough.
Leah Michelle McCloskey.
Robert James McGinnis.
Reagan Elizabeth McLennan.
John Eugene McGovern III.
Jessica Therese McIntosh.
Jeremy Edward Marich.
Marisa Jane McKnight.
Justin Bennett Miller.
Kaylin Marie McLaughlin.
Jacob Lowry Moore.
Alexandra Ray McNally.
Rob Allen Murgy.
Annie Catherine McNamara.
Mark Thomas Murphy.
Morgan Lee McPherson.
Benjamin William Nicholson.
Angela Mickick.
Grant Thomas Nisley.
Jennifer Ann Mickick.
Gregory Fitzgerald Oberschelp.
Stephanie Paige Miller.
Connor Matthew O'Brien.
Madison Aline Mincone.
Tyler L. Olszewski.
Nicole Christina Monty.
Timothy Francis Palacios.
Amanda Margaret Moore.
Lucas Anthony Palamides.
Marissa Marie Morgan.
Zachary Robert Partika.
Amanda Christine Nerone.
Jonathan Daniel Pfeiffer.
Caroline Elizabeth Nixon.
Thomas Grant Phillips IV.
Casey Rebecca Norton.
Austin Monroe Pitts.
Madison Ashley Novisky.
Ryan Michael Pizzuti.
Catherine Rose O'Loughlin.
Constantine Emmanuel Politis.
Elizabeth Ashley Pelko.
Norman Ponte.
Alina Allison Pappas.
John Michael Provident IV.
Rachel Ann Parker.
Jonathan William Radilek.
Cassandra Alexis Pfeiffer.
Austin Robert Relicki.
Samantha Rose Phillips.
Robert Walter Ralston.
Lindsay Ellen Pisarcik.
Michael James Rinaldi.
Marlia Catherine Plachecki.
John Ross Rayo.
Kelly Marie Ponchione.
Andrew Christopher Ray.
Holly Elise Popovich.
Andrew Lewis Reese.
Melissa Ann Ports.
David James Rex.
Eleni Rosemary Pruitt.
Logan James Rhodes.
Mary Beth Pruitt.
Andrew Anthony Rich.
Megan Ann Quinlan.
Taylor Jeffrey Robinson.
Lauren Nicole Rivera.
Prithvi Sankar Roy.
Danae Jennifer Renz.
Jacob A. Sabo.
Allison Elizabeth Resnick.
Keith Alexander Siniga.
Marissa Marie Rigotti.
Tyler Alexander Santo.
Emily Susanna Ruprecht.
Christian Daniel Shearer.
Danielle Nicole Rusnak.
Zachary Augustus Segunda.
Erica Lane Salazoni.
Michael Ross Sessa.
Ariana Giorgio Sampson.
Karan Sharma.
Gabriela Rosina Santalucia.
Tyler Gregory Sheldon.
Allie Marie Schlafman.
Timothy Joseph Scrates.
Courtney Marie Schratz.
Michael Allen Small.
Ellen Margaret Shuck.
Tarek Jawan Smith.
Kelsey June Schultz.
Titus James Smith.
Tori Montana Schwartz.
Cole William Snyder.
Jamie Roselle Simpson.
Nicholas Scott Snyder.
Brooke Alexandra Smith.
Ryan Carl Spangenberg.
Alexandra Wilson St. Clair.
Jason Ryan Spire.
Hannah May Sistanko.
Robert Russell Staff.
Danielle Nicole Stites.
Mitchell Aaron Stowers.
Kenzie Ann Stepanek.
Matthew David Sabositz.
Emily Marie Stepanovich.
Sean Michael Sullivan.
Emily Marie Stoken.
Nico Dominic Samaria.
Bonnie Elizabeth Strang.
Andrew Lawrence Sylvester.
Jessica Murphy Szymanski.
Grant Joseph Taylor.
Allison Heather Thomas.
Ronald Raymond Toomey.
Michelle Marie Thomas.
Nathaniel Leonard Tost.
Alyssa Marie Thornton.
Eric Zachary Trilko.
Megan Lynn Vierheller.
David Robert Tucker.
Carly Lynn Vodzak.
Alexander Jorge Varsalati.
Brianna Wagner.
Matthew Christopher Venanzi.
Emila Warzinski.
Zachary David Werner.
Elizabeth Marie Weimer.
Johannes G. Verwer IV.
Lauren Nicole White.
Christian G. View.
Kaylin Ashley Williams.
Joseph Peter Vilsack.
Taylor Nicole Woods.
Anthony Raymond Wagner.
Jingsu Yang.
David Richard Wall.
Camelia Eunice.
Robert Wesley Ward.
Taylor Janae Young.
Thomas William Webster III.
Allison E. Zaraka.
Tyler Austin Wilkes. Zachary Charles Willis. Ryan Andrew Wyatt. Caleb Keller Wysocki. Colt David Yanello. Benjamin Andrew Zaleski.
Class of 2012, please rise. According to Mrs. Pavlik, you've all fulfilled the requirements of graduation set forth by the Department of Education and the Peters Township Board of Education. As such, through the power vested in me by the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, I pronounce you 2012 graduates of Peters Township High School.